Justin Gatlin is the latest in a long line of sprint sensations to emerge from the USA.
Gatlin got a good start. Look at this man coming through now. What a fantastic performance from Gatlin.
It's all about Gatlin.
Ultimate goal is to be one of the best sprinters in history.
And what a fantastic performance from Gatlin, and look at the time.
It's the American leading the Jamaican at the moment.
He knows he is the world champion.
Justin Gatlin is the world champion here in London.
What's up, everybody? Back with another episode of Ready, Set, Go. We in the building. You already know who it is, man. It's your boy, Jay Gat. And you know my wingman, the man himself, the Silver Fox.
So, boy,
the man, the bearded wonder. I'm a man. I'm gonna keep on forcing them damn nicknames, man. You gonna make a shirt, jersey, everything, bro. So, what up, Green? What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. To the women that's in my DMs calling me the Silver Fox, that's the only reason why he's saying that. I appreciate the love. I thank you. I appreciate all the compliments. I thank you guys. But anyway.
So we now know what's going on in your DMs.
That's why he keeps saying that.
Hey, but in other news, man, we just opened up our account on Discord, family, supporters, friends. If you want to be able to have an opportunity to sit down, chat with us, talk with us, download Discord. Go ahead and hit us up on Discord, Ready, Set, Go. And all the information will actually be in this episode. Link will be here.
Yeah, definitely. And Discord is fun, man. I checked that out, man. Discord has a bunch of things. We have in our Discord where we could have race predictions and all of that, and where the fans could go back and forth with banter with you and myself. So I think it's going to be a great thing for Ready, Set, Go.
Listen, every time I'm out in the streets, man, somebody walks up to me and they be like, man, tell your co-host, dog. Tell him to keep being here, man. I wish I could talk to him. So now y'all get a chance to talk to him, man. So hit us up on Discord.
Yeah, so man, we had a really busy weekend in our track and field world this weekend, man. We had a lot of things happen, man. I'd like to start with a little bit of we have Grand Slam track coming up. In our last episode, we mentioned that you will be going down to Grand Slam, the first inaugural Grand Slam track meet in Jamaica. You'll
Kingston,
be there.
Jamaica.
Yes. But we had a few people trying to dust a little bit of the cobwebs off before they get the Grand Slam track. So we going to start with a little bit of that, right? So we saw Fred Curley this weekend, in the 4x1. He looked like his legs are really, really spinning a little bit. They ran 38:43, which is not a bad time, but Fred looked really good, man. His knee lift was crazy. He was out there dolo by himself, but he was moving. It looked like he was bounding down the track, but he was moving. You know what I mean? So he only got one more week to get ready for Grand Slam track. You had Gabby Thomas out there. Gabby Thomas running a 4x4 and a 4x1 per usual at Texas Relays. Did you see them both? What would you think about them both? Them two, and then we'll move on to the others.
I did. For Fred, I'm very glad to see his progression, right? Obviously, a week before, you saw him racing against a couple of cats from USC. You know what I'm saying? It came down to the wire. And now this week, you see Fred kind of getting the baton on fourth leg and just kind of running away with it. So clearly, he's working on his top end speed. He's working on different aspects of his race. And that's going to definitely help him in the Grand Slam for the things that's coming forward. For Gabby's Gabby, man. That's her home. That's her stomping ground. She trains in Austin. So her going out there is like a tradition. That's like when we were training back in the day, Florida Relays was a tradition for us. You know what I mean?
Dennis used to call it the state championship.
Exactly. We would pull up and have to bang on all them dudes. Anybody that trained in Florida, that's who we was racing against. We was banging on them. So, but watching her, and now she has it. She has 3 Olympic gold medals. She understands the rhythm that she needs now. If she does it and replicates it year in, year out without any kind of hiccups or injuries, she's going to be good each year as she steps out, especially for her now. She's being touted as one of the faces of Grand Slam. That means she has to show up and show out when this Grand Slam inaugural event starts in Kingston and goes all the way through the other events through the United States.
Yeah. We had another person dust off his legs. He got beaten in his season opener by Keem Blake. Zarnell Hughes ran 10:11 but the young Akeem Blake, who was one of my picks for this year, emerging stars from Jamaica, beat him in his opener. Akeem Blake ran 10:06. Zarnell Hughes ran 10:11. Did you see that race? What did you think about that race?
Ooh, my boy. Akeem looked good, man. Akeem looked good. Shout out to Zarnell too, man. Zarnell looked good. He's putting his stuff together. He's putting his form together. But watching Akeem run, I feel like Akeem was basically saying to him and to everybody else out there, I'm the challenger. Get ready. I am the challenger.
I'm not sure. I didn't look at the challenger list, so everybody we're talking about are the racers. So I don't know if he is a challenger in the later Akeem Blake, but if he a challenger, boy, he gonna upset some of those races.
I don't even know if he is a challenger, but the way he ran that race and he commanded the lead, he's basically telling you, look, I am the threat. I am the challenger. So you get ready. Whatever race he's going in next, I'm definitely grabbing some popcorn. I want to see what Akeem does.
Shoot. And then we had a few of the ladies in our favorite event who are racers in Grand Slam track try to do doubles, man. So we had Toby Amasan run 100 in Jamaica. She ran 11:28, which is not bad for a hurdle at all. Then we had Jasmine Camacho Quinn. She opened up both races in Miami a week and some change ago. She did 12:08 and she did 11:33. And then we have this weekend the Olympic champion, Masai. She goes and runs 11:16. It was a little windy. You know what I mean? But these girls out there dusted off their legs to go ahead and try to get ready for Grand Slam. What did you think about both or three of their races, or did you see all three?
I love watching. I didn't see Toby's race, but I love watching hurdlers sprint. I don't know why. It's like it's like their body's so tuned to like sprint and then hurdle, sprint and then hurdle. And then when there's not a hurdle there, it's like they have like a little tiny hitch where they run. It's like tip, 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 tip. So definitely shouts out to all those ladies across the board for putting out good times, because that's what they're going to need when they go to Grand Slam. It's going to be foreign for them because they're used to just going into big events and hurdling and getting the job done and kind of packing up their bag and going back to the hotel and doing whatever. But now they're going to have to be able to do their hurdles, their primary event, and also get out there and play in the sprint world, man. So it's going to be cool to say. You actually talked about that before. You said some of these hurdlers need to go into sprinting more. So you might see that more now.
They did, man. I think, my girl, Gail Diva, shout out to Gail, was ahead of her time. She was Grand Slamming before Grand Slam.
She was at a high level, too. She was Grand Slamming in the Olympics.
She was definitely, shout out to Gail, man. That concept is so crazy. What do you think in your prime, if the Grand Slam came along, how do you think you would have fared in the Grand Slam? 4 slams, and you had to race against Usain Bolt, Noah Lyles, Tyson Gay. These are your Asafa Powell. Who else? Warren Ware was he wasn't a good double, but he was a good 200-meter runner. You know what I mean? Like, how do you think you would have fared against the competitors if the Grand Slam was actually in your time?
So, are we talking about the double, like the 1 to 2?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, that's the slam. You got to do short or long sprints, I think they call it. So you do the shorts, which is 1 or 2, or you go long, which is 2 and 4.
I feel like for me, in our generation, that's what we've already done. We've been Grand Slamming. Usually when you get ready for a championship or the Olympics, you're going out there to double, to run the 1 and the 2, you know? So I would say I would see the same faces and I'll run this against the same people at the same level that I've been running against. So I would mix it up for you, my man. I would actually, if the Grand Slam was happening around our era, and let's just say, and I was still capable of hurdling, I actually would jump in the hurdles, doc. I actually would jump in the hurdles. I would do the 1 in the hurdles.
Hey, I'm going to tell this story. This is a funny story, y'all. Listen. So in 2012, during Justin's indoor season, we were training together. And our training partner, Dwight Thomas, Biggs from Jamaica, they call him Biggs. Shout out to Biggs. You know what I mean? They were arguing on the track. And Justin turned to him and was like, man, I'll jump in them hurdles. And Dwight was like, boy, you crazy. But in my head, looking at Justin's face, he actually thought in 2012 he could go back to the hurdles and actually win that shit.
Why not? I mean, listen, my first love has always been hurdles, right? The hurdles was actually forced upon me because of points in high school. So I grew to love the hurdles, have a passion for hurdles. I love watching hurdles. So when anybody says that, in my mind, I'm still thinking I'm a good hurdler, dogs.
Bro, Biggs was at the time was running 13-1. And he was like, yeah, I'll go in there and I'll beat you. And I was like, bro, you can't believe that. He run 13-1, bro.
Listen, Biggs already had a trump card on me because me and Biggs used to race against each other in high school at high school national meets. And Biggs would wash me in the 60-meter hurdle, dog. He would already have like a half a hurdle on me. So Biggs was that dude in the short sprints and in the hurdles. So Biggs would be like, man, I'll do you like I did you in high school, boy. I'd have been like, all right, enough said.
Yeah, man. Then, man, for our last racer, man, I feel like this is how you do it, man. This is how track should be, man. Salwa Nassar opens her 400 and 200 in the gold medalist hometown and drops 48.9 and backdoors it with 22.4.
Listen, dog.
And looks in the stands like, Paulino, you watching? You watching?
She sent the message, dog.
Hey.
You go to someone's hometown, not even just town, but country, and you run on their track and you drop a bomb like that early in the season, you telling them, I'm ready. I'm just letting you know. It ain't no whispers. It ain't no I can get on the internet and look for it, or someone send me the video so I can see the race and scrutinize it. You could have bought a ticket, sat in the stands, and watched the show. Because that's what she came to do, put on a damn show.
Man, that right in her backyard. That's crazy. That's crazy you do that, man. That's like if you were to go to Jamaica and drop 9-7 and Bolt's in the stands watching early in the year and just look like, hey, you ready?
That happened before with Tim Montgomery and Maurice Green. When Tim Montgomery broke the world record, Maurice Green was sitting in the stands. Dog. He did not like that at all. Dog. We got to get Maurice Green to the show, man. We can talk about this, man.
Hey, he already said, come on, man. He already told me. He already said, man, whatever y'all want, man, I'll be on there, man. But like I said, man, I feel like that's how it should be, man. Like if they have a meet and your countryman city, man, you drop inside that city and I mean, she just really showed how prepared she was. Her and her coach, how well they got her prepared for Grand Slam track, man. She is ready. 48.9?
48.9.
If she ran like 50.01, I would have been like, oh, okay. 48.9, which is
48.9 in March.
Yeah,
March.
In March. Which is very crazy, man. Very crazy.
But ain't putting no disrespect on Paulino. Paulino, Olympic gold medalist. Paulino has ran the females 400, and I expect her to respond and come with some fire.
Well, she's gonna have to respond on the 4th because she's a racer also. So that's what we want to tell our fans, man. Grand Slam track. It's on the 4th in Jamaica. Those are all the people who ran in the previous week or week and some change early. We want to just highlight those performances and let you know that that's what's going on the 4th. They just dusting their legs off. Y'all tune in and support Grand Slam track. Moving on.
I wonder though. Each individual from each race gets $100,000, right? Each Grand Slam.
You have to win the whole slam though. You got to win the both.
So you got to win the double.
You got to double. Yeah, you got to win them both to get the 100.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
If that happens, I want to know what they're gonna do with their money.
Because you win one slam, it's life changing. Like I said, man. Like I told the Miss Morlake, who's representing Grand Slam track personnel. She retired this year. I was like, man, you retired in a year where you possibly could have made the most money in track and field without a contract, which is crazy. You know what I mean? Without a contract. I definitely like it. Moving on, man. We going to, like I said, we going to get a little bit more into Texas relays, man. Going on to this female 4x1, man. I don't know if you watched it, but it was nothing short of amazing. The time was nothing short of amazing. They broke the meet record, facility record with that quartet. And Tamari Davis, Gabby Thomas, Jenna Prandini, and Anavia Battle, man. Listen, they ran 41.74. And it was only one other relay in the race. I can't imagine if the field was stacked. They would have left them after the second leg anyway, first leg anyway, man, because all of those young ladies, man, they were on fire.
I mean, real deal. I mean, like you said, you got Tamari popping off where she's been already seasoned in that position. And obviously, clearly, with the World Championships come up, you want to show that you the person that should be in that position. You know what I mean? With Gabby running down that backstretch, who else would you need right now? That backstretch, her top end speed, perfect. And Jenna Prandini.
Yeah.
That's Miss Third Leg right there.
Yeah.
Like, she locks it down, dog. She's been on some really great teams in the past, and she has definitely held her own and then some on that third leg. And watching Anavia Battle come around, getting her feet wet, running that anchor leg, they handle business, man, with a meet record and a field record. So let's see what all these ladies can do going forward, man.
True, but let's see what they did like right now. Jenna Prandini, this is the first time she opened up at Texas Relays, and she's back into the kind of form we like to see her in. Jenna Prandini, even though it was a little winded, mostly all the times it winded at Texas, it's just really a windy meet, she ran 22.16. We haven't seen Jenna like this in maybe the last 2 or 3 years. You know what I mean? And the way she ran that curve, like, it shows that she's back. She's in a new training camp, in a new situation, and I'm very happy for her to see that she's, healthy and doing what she loves to do, handling that third leg and running the 200. You know what I mean? It got me sitting thinking, what can we expect from Jenna in the 200 this year? What does that World Championship team look like this year with Jenna looking the way she looks right now? Because it could change. We had top 3 last year. We all know Gabby's season, as long as she stays healthy, she will be there. But who else is going to be there? I'm not giving it to Gabby, but I'm saying as long as she stays healthy, she looked amazing. We'll see where she is.
Well, relays all around, especially on the female side, is going to be a question mark until we get to the championship, because clearly we're not going to know who's on the relay team. We don't even know who the relay coach is. I don't think they've announced that yet, who the relay coach is, right? Since Michelle has stepped down. So
I haven't heard anything, but I mean, it might be out already and we just haven't heard about it. That's what it may be. They probably keeping a low profile, man. They don't want the attention. You know what I mean? The U.S. relays always has a lot of attention. So, but with 41.74, whoever put together that team, they're definitely doing well. Anavia Battle did well at that meet also. She opened up 100 there. It was a little windy, but she actually won the Invitational in 11:01. I like to see the rookie. She got out pretty good with the field, and at 50 meters, she showed what she could do with her top end speed. Let's not forget, Anavia, once upon a time ran 21.95 in a 200. So she's no stranger to top end speed.
Absolutely.
Which is really good. Another person who resurfaces, Elijah Thompson Hall, or is it Hall-Thompson?
I've only known him as Elijah Hall. I think the Thompson kid just came on, so I don't know. The Thompson came in bad, but same dude.
Same dude. Man, he dropped 1998, man. He's been missing for a while, man. He was key for the USA at some points in the relays and everything else, and put up solid times, but never really made a team, always made relay teams or the relay pool. But dropping 1998, even with a 3.0 win, I still think is impressive. He did it from, I think, like lane 3. So, which is really impressive, which is really good for him. Makes me think, like, what could we see from him this year? Did you see his race?
I didn't get a chance to see that race itself, but I want to watch it and watch how his race pattern, his race strategy. What was it like? What'd you see?
I think, man, listen, he got out, and it was a pretty good field that he got out on. As they come off the turn, man, he gets tall. He meets with everybody, and then he extends the last 50 meters. He looks like vintage Elijah. I mean, Elijah is a talented young man. I think he still has the collegiate record indoor for the 200.
I think it's 2010, right?
Yeah, something ridiculous. Yeah, something ridiculous. He still has the collegiate record for the indoor 200. So the 200 isn't anything foreign to him at all. But it's good to see him back. I always like those type of stories where you see somebody leave, get themselves together, and they get back. You know, they have to find themselves a little bit, but it's great to see him back. We got the women's flow. We call it the flow by 4 because flow team broke the facility record and the meet record with 3:25:20.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he shut it down for real, man. Like, and I'm pretty sure it's Akila. I hope I say it right. Akila Smith to Julian Alfred. No, to Dina Asher Smith, to Julian Alfred, to Rashida. Yeah, man. And they were like in third place, going into like third leg to Julian. And Julian just runs that leg so powerful, so strong. And I think she split like 50 point, bro. It's crazy. She split 50 point, but it looked like she was lifting her knees the whole way. You know, like when you run the 400, you're not trying to lift your knees at all. You're trying to let them hips drop and just glide. Yep. But she runs strong the whole way at 50 point. And if she's splitting 50 point, you know what I mean? After we saw what she did in 300 at New Balance, and now 50 point here. Flo said he had a plan for her to do more 400s and stuff like that this year for her to get stronger for that too, and the rounds. And I think it's working right now. Whatever he's doing is working right now.
That 2 is going to make her 100 meters stronger too. So it's going to cover the gambit. It's going to be, everything's going to level up for her for sure.
Yeah, but 325, their team are beating some high school boys. Yeah. Some high school boys in the 4x4. They beating them.
Handling them little boys.
They handle them, man. Man, Flo doing his thing out there with those young ladies at Texas and with his pro group. You know what I mean? So shout out. Speaking of pro groups, man, I was thinking, you know, as we used to travel through Europe, we'd see the European club teams, right? Like, I think at some point, even though they have like youth track clubs, should we try to adopt that European model here? Because now you have a lot of pro groups that have sizable people in it to where they could compete. I mean, back in the day, right now, you could have Pure Athletics versus Star Athletics versus Empire Athletics, and that's just in Florida. Just in Florida. Those three squads are right here in Florida. They have male and female rosters that can actually like compete in sprints all the way up to the 400. What do you think about adopting that type of idea here in the U.S.?
I say yes, absolutely. Why? Because America is about their teams. Yes, we have those one-off athletes who stand out like a Serena or a Tiger Woods, and they become legendary in their own right. But America is about teams. We want to root for a team that's either from our hometown or the city that we live in right now, and we want to stick with them through their ups and downs. And sometimes people root for teams and don't even know who the hell is playing on their team. It's just a fact of, I'm a Lakers fan. I've been a Lakers fan. My daddy been a Lakers fan. We whole family Lakers fan. And it's a tradition. You know what I mean? So to have club teams, I think it actually will help generate more fanfare in America for us.
Yeah, I think that's something that should be done, just not in America, because like you have racers. You know what I mean? Racers Track Club, MVP Track Club. You have Tanja Buford Bailey, you know, out there. Then you got HSI. All of these, they have banners, they have logos. If you adopt the model, it would make the coach want to recruit more people. It would create more jobs for assistant coaches because now you would want a real behind roster with real coaches who can coach with you to have the best team, which will produce better times within, I guess, going around doing these club meets because a lot of these clubs are elitist clubs. They have some of the best talent in our sport. So
very true.
I don't see why we can't try to institute something like that. If we do, y'all know we need our 10%.
I mean,
y'all
even from a business aspect, you look at it, then those club teams can start creating merchandise and sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people who are cheering for them. And on top of that, you can go to your local businesses and get support from your local businesses. Now you have a head count. Now you can say, here we are at Star Athletics. We have 5 Olympians. You know what I'm saying? Like now companies will say, man, I am supporting a truly Olympic team, Olympic caliber team. So name recognition, branding, all that stuff would be rolled into one for stuff like that. So it would heighten the business aspect when it comes to like track and field in America.
And you know what you could do? And the off year, you could have a club championship. Like next year, there's nothing. There's nothing in track and field. There's no world championship. So you kind of have stuff like a club championship in that year with sponsors and encourage those clubs, you know what I mean, to bring their clubs to the club championships. But
HSI had it going for a while. They actually started putting the ingredients together. I feel like they didn't seal the deal, but it's like when they won races, they had already an HSI flag, like a huge flag that they will do their victory lap with. They traveled on airplanes with their HSI merch on. They had shirts, they had hats, everything like that. And then they started doing vlogs before vlogs was even cool of them in different countries, riding around in Porsches and staying in different fancy hotels. So it showed you exactly what the experience was to be a part of the club team of HSI. That's attraction. So yeah, I think it could work.
Look, man, that and you can find those videos on YouTube still about that little show. They were definitely ahead of their time because if something like that existed now, in the light of a reality TV, they would definitely be stars. Way bigger stars they would be then. I mean, Otto Bolton wouldn't be known for being on NBC and being a track star. He would be a legitimate reality star at this point. He might not even work for NBC at this point.
Yeah, you'd be a star just for being on the team, period, boy. You ain't got to win no damn races.
And they had girls and guys who were actually doing great. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a time, man. If y'all got time, man, y'all go and watch those HSI vlogs. They were there. I was entertained by them. Yeah, I mean, they showed how they traveled the world and everything, winning races, taking bets, and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, so it definitely was a good time. Moving on, man, we had another young man who didn't fare out at indoor U.S. Nationals open up his hurdle race at FSU relays. I'm talking about our guy, Dylan Beard, man. Mr. Walmart. Or Mr. Sam's Club. And he opened up in a really solid time at 13:21, which is with legal time, by the way, which is the world lead right now, which is 13:21 in March is not bad at all.
That's not bad at all, man. For real. Bad. People would pay for a time like that in March.
Shoot, I know people who actually ran professional hurdles whose PB ain't 13:21. So, that's not bad either. We had another female hurdler that opened up her weekend also, and it was a really solid time. It was a little windy. She's going through a little controversy right now, but her race looked amazing, man. She blew away the field in the invitational part of Texas Relays and Tia Jones. What'd you think about her race?
First of all, I enjoy watching Tia run. I remember watching her run indoors, and then she got injured. And then now she's on a comeback now. Yeah, she's going through a little controversy right now. Someone asked me a question and said, how would you navigate the situation that she's in right now? I said, y'all remember Kobe Bryant? Y'all remember when he had the little scandal going on in Denver? and he still had to play basketball. This man showed up on the court with ice in his veins, and he played to win. Then that's for her. That's what she needs to do right now. Define herself. Go out there, win every race you can win, drop hot times when you could drop hot times, and show the world that you are a bona fide star and you're unflappable. Whatever goes on off the track, so be it. It goes on off the track. But when you step on the track, she's ready to rock and roll. And that's what she has to do, lock her mind in. So to see her come out, open up with a 12:57, little bit of wind, but it shows that she dominated the rest of the field. It shows that she's getting ready for outdoors. And she's going to need to get ready because being in that 100-meter hurdles, it's always a fight. And she knows that too.
Shoot. I'm gonna we had a few, our first sub-11s for the year from, two young ladies out there. It was windy. Like we said, Texas is a little windy. But it's two sub-10s for the year collegiately. And India Mayberry of TCU and Leah Bertrand of Ohio State. 1091, 1094, race down to the wire. I love both of their sprint mechanics. Mayberry, I don't know if you saw Mayberry on their 4x1.
Oh,
boy, but listen,
I did. I saw that.
That last leg was nothing short of amazing, man. Looked like she was running on water.
Boy, like she had a bigger engine under her hood than anybody else in that fourth leg. Boy, she got that stick because she was definitely not in front. I don't even think she was second when she got the stick. And she just hit that gear, whop, 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 and just kind of just ran them down and then ran past them and got the win. I was like, yeah, we're looking at the lady that's going to probably dominate the NCAA's, especially maybe this year and going into next year. Because being a freshman running like that from the 100 to the 4x1, she looking nice. She looking nice.
Yeah. Leah looked nice too, man. Like
shouts out to Joel, Coach Joel Brown, man.
Coach Joel Brown, man. He coaches Leah Bertrand, man. Listen, she got out and she held her own, man, and her form looked really well. She lost it like right at the end, but it was a good run. Technically sound all the way through. It was definitely a good run for both of the young ladies. They were like neck and neck almost damn near the whole way.
Yeah.
And when you strive for stride like that, I don't think a lot of people realize how hard it is to maintain form because you're running basically like, please break so I can win. And the other person's like, you please break so I can win. You know what I mean? You're waiting for that moment till you see that little chink to where you can actually step away from that next person to get the win, man. It's crazy.
That's exactly how I be. You're like, break, please, break. And then while you wishing they breaking, you breaking down.
Facts. But good run from those young ladies, letting us know that this collegiate season is definitely going to be in great hands. We should talk about something that we probably talked about earlier, and we're going to dissect it a little bit. So a lot of people didn't think that Mr. Kennedy, Lochlan Kennedy, wasn't the real deal. We're going to the World Down Under in Australia right now. And he's definitely showing his range because he just defeated Gout in the 200 with 20.26. So as of right now, you have Lochlan with 10.03, 6'5" indoor, but 6'4" outdoor, 6'43", and then 20.26, which is showing great range of sprinting, showing how well-rounded he is and the sprints for right now. Watching his race, and we know that he's a very quick starter. We know that he can really get his turnover very quickly. He turns over so quick, he doesn't even really need knee lift. I don't see that he lifts his knees as high as everybody, but he turns over like anybody's business. So it looked like he just tried to immobilize Gout in the beginning and just hope that he ran out of real estate all the way to the end of the race. And that's exactly what happened. Me, when I watched Gout, I always believe that there's a psychological factor when running against somebody that you know is of your caliber. Nerves are different. Things change. When you know you can win your race, nerves are easier. You can effectively attack your race plan a lot easier than anything else. But when you're racing somebody of your caliber, once that anxiety rises, you can rush things and do a little bit of things wrong. So I think the psychological factor got the Gout on this one. What do you think?
We've talked about Kennedy before when he ran his first 60 and he dropped that 6:43. And we questioned it, not because Kennedy ran it, it was because it was outdoors. So, and it had a wind of like a 1.6 tailwind behind it. So it improved everyone's race and time, when they competed that day. But he came back, ran a 10:03. He went indoors, won the indoors for his country. Then he went to Worlds and he damn near won Worlds in the 60 meters. He got silver, ran a great time. He's backed it up every time, every step of the way. When people would say, I don't think he's good enough, or I don't know, he's just kind of a flash in the pan, he's backed it up with a time. He's a gamer. That's what he showed me in this race against Gout, right? Kennedy looks more like of a 60 meter, 100 meter kind of guy. That's kind of his primary events. And to hear how he kind of ran and competed in that 200, he said it. He's like, I didn't want to come out here and help contribute to a race where Gout would blow the competition away. I wanted to get out and put on a performance and help put on a great performance. He didn't say, I planned on winning. He didn't say, I was going to be close to Gout. He said, when the gun went off, I'm out here just running and competing, and he apologized. He said, I'm sorry everybody thought that Gout was going to win. I just came out here. I wanted to put on a great show. And that's what just happened. I like his mentality. I like where he's at when he's thinking like that way, because that tells me that you have so much more room to grow. When you're a gamer like that mentally, that means that you will rise to the occasion every time. And that's what he did today. I feel today, Kennedy is not on the level of Gout when it comes to the 200. Gout's run 20:06. We've watched Gout annihilate competition before and be very comfortable. So with that being said, I'm with you on that. I'm with you the fact that it was definitely a mental thing than a physical thing for Gout. I watched that race. Gout wasn't gassed. He actually came off the turn and he kind of was very reserved. He didn't attack off the turn. He didn't command to get into the front, into the straightaway. He actually kind of maneuvered and kind of navigated his way towards to where he could get second place. He tried to run down Kennedy, but he ran out of real estate. You actually see him maybe 20 meters before the line. He starts looking around a little bit. So that tells me that you wasn't gassed. So I think that, and you said this before, stop putting labels on these young athletes when it's not time for them to have these labels. Let Gout be Gout. Gout don't need to be the next Usain Bolt or anybody else. No. Let Gout be Gout. And let him go out there and run. Because the first thing you're going to think about in them situations when you have that pressure on you is the fact of, what's the media going to say to me? Now I got to sit here and try to reverse and rehearse something that will sound politically correct and that does not make me sound weak. That's what you have to think in those situations. So take the pressure off this man. Let this man have fun. Because trust me, the longer his career, the more competition and more pressure that's going to be added on to it. He's a young kid right now. He runs great times. He's exciting. Let him have fun. Let him entertain us.
I 100% agree with you. I think I would call this a mental rep for Gout. He needs more of these with the caliber of athlete that is at his caliber. There'll be mental reps because the more reps he gets with people that can run with him, the better he could kind of navigate his way through of being a professional track and field runner. He'll understand what it is because, even Usain Bolt said that Glenn Mills told him himself when he was coming up as a youth, everything was easy. And once he turned pro, You know what I mean? He was like, why he was losing so much. He was like, what you would realize is everybody on this level has talent. It's about who wants it the most and who trains the best. You know what I mean? That's where Gout's going to be in this time. You know what I mean? I know he wants Noah, but it's a lot of people he has to go through to get to Noah. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to go from the first stage to the big boss at the end of the day. And really and truly in the 200, Noah's not the big boss. It's Letsile Tebogo, who is
which
the
we
boss.
saw pictures of them talking to each other at the meet recently. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but if we go by who held that 200-meter crown the longest, it would be, I'm no disrespect to Noah, it is Noah. Noah is the big boss as far as reps in that 200 over the last couple of years, who's held it. But like I said, Gout got to go through a lot of folk. You got to go through Ortega. You got to go through Kenny Bernard. You got to go through a lot more folk. Jareem Richards. You got to go through a lot of folk to really be that guy. So, you know, when people say they want to be that guy, I don't think they understand how much people they got to climb through to get to that point. But I get it. Aim high, aim for the stars, and if you land amongst the clouds, you still did good. You still did good.
So two things on that. At the end of Gout's interview, he says something very similar to when Quincy lost. When Quincy lost, he says, that ain't gonna happen no more. I'm gonna bounce back. I'm gonna train harder. And when you see me, I ain't losing no more. And then we saw what Quincy did towards the end of his indoor season. I believe the same thing Gout can do. And I think Gout's going to take this loss and he's mentally going to prepare himself to be even a bigger competitor. And to do so, my word of advice to Gout right now is make a hit list. You want to beat the man and you feel like Noah's the man and you got to go through all these guys like Rod just said, make a hit list, dog. Put all the names of the people you respect in that discipline, the 200. And you, every time you race against them, be true to yourself. Give yourself a mark, meaning they beat you, or you give them a mark next to their name, meaning you beat them. And you hold tally. And that'll give you the confidence and that'll give you the clarity of your progression going forward.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the kid, man. I'm rooting for the kid. And his coach is a female. You know what I mean? His coach is a female.
I didn't know that.
Coach.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, I definitely, his coach is a female, man. So, you know, I can't remember her name. And I probably will get it wrong by the next show, but I'll still try to say it. You know, that's definitely my thing in getting names wrong on here, man. Tebogo was at that meet also, man. Him and Nodori. They got a little rivalry. These two countrymen has a little rivalry in the 400 of going back and forth, man. Tebogo executed his 400 a lot better than the last one he ran, and he's progressively coming down and maintaining a solidified time. It's definitely not like last year. A lot of things in his training could have changed from last year, but it's definitely coming down. They said like he's just progressively been doing things a little different. I don't know if he has injuries or anything that happened, but I know he opened up his 400 in 48, opposed to last year when he opened it up in 44. But then he dropped to 45, and now he's at 45 again. So, you know, I watched his race and I watched him execute it around the turn and move with his training partner. I hope I'm saying his name right, Nodori from Botswana. And he looked a whole lot better. He actually got closer to Nodori, getting to the finish line, getting second place. Because Nodori has he has the world lead right now at 44.59. So he ain't no slump, but we know there ain't no slump because we watched that 4x4. Speaking of that, go back to the world down under right quick. Lashley Kennedy, Gout. But I want people to pay attention. When you go on that World Athletic list, there are a few other Australians in 10-1 shape. That means a good solidified 4x1 is coming. If you don't pay attention to the other teams that's trying to race, these guys could possibly be a Cinderella story. I'm just saying, pay attention. Go on the World Athletic list. They have a couple other Aussies that's in 10-1, in the 10-1 range. And then you have those two Pay attention, world. But anyway.
So I got a question. And what would you put? All right. What would you put Gout? And what would you put Kennedy in the 4x1?
Man, I'm putting Gout on that backstretch, boy. He gonna fly. He getting the longest leg.
Okay.
Kennedy. The other two guys that run 10-1, if they're the two fastest guys, I'm using them like insurance, man. But when you're running amongst the world of the USAs, Jamaicas, the Canadas, you know what I mean? And you got to throw in now the South Africans, you know what I mean? When you're running against those people of that caliber, you kind of get immobilized because if you have somebody on the fly who could do like an 8-8 or something like that, you have 3 other teams that has that. You know what I mean? You could put Andre DeGrasse on the backstretch. You could put a Kenny Bernard on the backstretch. You could put anybody else from another, Emmanuel Matadi for Liberia on that backstretch. And these guys can run 8-8, 8-9 on the fly. So it's not like, if you lose some, you could gain it back. You know what I mean? So they're definitely going to have to focus on how fast that baton goes through that zone, racing the baton. So they have to keep the baton at a swift pace because if they're trying to win with leg speed of the countries I just called, they're not there yet. They're definitely not there.
Yeah, of course. They're not there. They're young athletes and they can comprise of a young team. So they're going to take a couple of their L's and a couple of their losses along the way. But kind of like Canada, like when Canada first came out, their quartet that they wasn't the best team. But now as the dust settles, they have hardware, bro. Olympic golds, world championship golds, like they have hardware, bro. So, and they don't have the fastest quartet. Like when you break it down to individuals on their team, they don't have the fastest 4 guys, but they get the job done and they rise to the occasion when it's necessary. So I think that quartet, when it comes to Australia, they're going to be a young team. They just got to find out exactly what their position is. Gout on the backstretch, I definitely can see that. I would say probably Kennedy out the hole, not knowing how these other guys run. But watching Kennedy, he looks like he's the fastest guy out the blocks for the Aussies. So I'll probably put that insurance there and see how they can find those other 2 guys to bring some kind of make sure it's synergy to 3rd and 4th and bring that home. But
listen, that's going to be fun to watch. You're going to front load and just hang them other dudes out to dry. Listen. You hanging them boys out to dry with? You putting the 2 best runners out there first to go hang out with Andre DeGrasse, Noah Lyles on these last legs or 3rd legs. These guys.
You're going to have to get baptized at some point, boy. You're going to have to understand what it feels like to be in that kind of pressure long enough to where it's not pressure anymore for you.
Well, listen, that's a heavenly baptism. Akini Simbini? I don't know if you want that type of problems. They some real hardcore problems. But yeah, man, shout out to them. I usually always see stuff like that once I see it, just like I was like with Botswana. Once I watched all of them sub 45, what did I say? I said, hey, boy, I don't know if you're paying attention, but I've seen this before. Their 4x4 is going to be ready. We got the world relays into the Bahamas. And what happened, boy? Them boys were ready. And they were even ready at the Olympics. They stressed it out and they made it all the way to the Olympics. You know what I mean? Speaking of world relays will be happening in in China this year. But I've watched the World Athletics page. They let us have it back the Olympic year in Nassau, Bahamas, in which you loved. Said you loved being in my country, the 242.
242, baby, all the way. Listen, it should have been just a staple there. It should never have moved. So,
but I am excited for 2026, though. I would like to be there. Hopefully, World Athletics will give us some media passes, and we could be media at the World Athletics 2026 Botswana World Relays. It's going to be in Botswana.
Listen, I'm always about going to the motherland. So
that's what I'm saying.
Let's go.
That's what I'm saying.
And on top of that, they are bringing in a whole new event.
Oh, with the 4x1, right?
The 4x1, men and women, mixed 4x1.
Yeah, I saw
they
that.
They have certified that it has to be women, man, man.
Oh yeah, man. When we get our new guests, we're gonna have to ask them to put that one together. Woman, man. For kicks and giggles. We're gonna have you put together a US team of your choice of when you were running. Not even when you were running. The year you retired was what? 2020 what?
2021.
2021. And that year of
2020, at the end of 2021, yeah.
2021, we need you to put together a team, because that would be a recent team of woman, man for the World Championships this year. Because all the people who you're going to name is probably still running.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see you put one together. How would you put it together if you would want to win?
If I want to win?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you always want to win. So, I mean, that's...
Jeez. Woman, man. Of the athletes that are out right now.
2021, your year. But that means you have to be on it. So we're going to have you do one with you on it, and then you one now.
I can't be on it.
Why you can't be on it? I'm asking you to put it together from 2021.
Because my leg I usually run is taken by the female.
Then that means you still run a straightaway. That means you run last leg.
I got to run anchor. I got to run anchor? Okay. All right.
All our guests, beware. We asking you these questions too. So if you asking to be on our show, have your teams ready.
Man. Who was around? Who was a good starter in 2021? Who was a good female starter then?
Shoot, I think Tamari started up. Shoot, her or MJ? Tamari or MJ? They both.
MJ wasn't the starter she is now, though. Back then. No. She wasn't with Dennis yet.
She still got the job done, though.
She still got the job done. I'm gonna go with Tamari. Out the hole, carry on the backstretch, Noah around the turn, and then me. Bring it home.
So you did that one. That was pretty good. Now do one without you of this current time. But those people are still running, so you have to insert somebody else, or you could change it up.
I mean, that would be easy. Well, you know what I'll do? I actually put, I like to see this because all of them got a little dog in them, for real. I will put MJ out the hole, TT on the backstretch, and put Arian on that turn, and Noah bring it home.
Oh, yeah, that's fire right there.
I got another one. I would change it up and put, because we all want to see this. We all want to see this. I'll make the connection between Arian on the turn and put Grant Holloway to bring it home. I want to see how he runs.
Yeah, man. That
just for what? What'd you call it?
For kicks and giggles.
Kicks and giggles.
For kicks
and giggles.
Since you did that, I'm gonna do one for my country, man. Woman, man. I would go right now. I would go Devin Charlton out the hole to Shawnee on the fly. To
nice fly.
Terrence Jones to Wanye McCoy.
Oh, that's nice.
Bahamas, if you're listening, if you do that, I need my 10%. But anyway.
That's nice though, right there.
That's what I'm doing. Devin Charlton to Shawnee Miller-Weebu to and we don't know if she's still training. I hope she is. If it's not Shawnee, then it's Antonique Strong. I'm going with that. That's what
Can't lose there either.
I'm going with that. I'm going with that one on the fly.
Can't lose with that one either, for sure.
Shoot. Well, after that, man, let's talk about, man, since we said World Relays was going to be in Africa, I love to see track athletes get brand deals outside of our sport. And our fellow African, Emmanuel Matadi, Liberian national record holder at 991, has got himself a deal or a partnership with my favorite brute, Timberlands. And I just had some Timberland boat shoes on this weekend.
Timbo Matade.
Timberlands. If you haven't seen his videos, Timberland, Emmanuel has the fastest 40 time in Timberland boots and 4:04 when he first put out the video. But Timberland partnership with him, and they actually have this boot that they have his flag on the inside and the mask of certain tribes on it. You have to go to his page. If you go to his page, please follow Emmanuel Matadi to support him. And they made the Timberland boot a pound lighter. And then he reran the 40, and I think he ran 4:37.
He did.
In Timberlands.
And Timberlands and gauchos. Because those old pants we used to wear back in the day, we used to call them shorts, but those are gauchos, my boy. He got the job done, though.
Yeah,
4-3?
Please check it out. All my NFL football guys who watch the show who hit me, yeah, man, go check it out, man. That's what track speed do. Unlaced Timbos, man, that man got it done in 4:37, man. 4:04. If he would have ran 4:07, it would have been impressive. But this man is actually running times that would make really good money for any running back, wide receiver, linebacker, if they ran that time. So y'all go check out Emmanuel Matadi, man, and his partnership. I'd like a pair. I'm gonna ask my wife to look it up and see if we could afford it. And we go ahead and try to get us some Liberian Timberland boots. And they all black, man. They
Blacked
look
out.
really nice. Blacked out. Man, so y'all go check that out for you.
It's giving that black Air Force One motherland kind of vibes, energy right there.
It do, man. It do. Man, in other news, man, I don't want to take us down, but I'm going to take us down a little bit, man. We shouted him out before, man. Coach Joe Lee. You know what I mean? Coach Joe Lee lost his father recently. And we, like I always say, we support everything track and field, man. We want to send our condolences and our prayers from the RSG family to Coach Joe Lee, man, to let you know that you are in our prayers and we are, you know what I mean, hopefully that you grieve and you possibly do counseling to get through it or whatever. So we just want to send a shout out to Coach Joe Lee.
Absolutely, man. Shouts out to Coach Joe Lee. You're in our prayers, man, for sure. Stay strong. And the write-up that he had about his father did everything. His father was an engineer for NASA. His father was a musician. His father was a figurehead in the community, was a mentor. His father was an elite athlete. His father comes from an era where if you believe you can do it and you really put yourself into it, you can become successful, especially as a black man in America. So shouts out to Coach Joe Lee and his family. We send our love and our condolence. And not only that, but we send praise and honor to the life he lived, man, for sure.
Yeah. I know some of our fans, you know, they ask us to talk about current events in our track and field world that sometimes are controversial. So I'm gonna take a stab at it. We're gonna converse about some things that are going on in the track world. Now, I don't know if you've been watching, and you didn't even have to be watching. You would have had to been under a rock to see the young lady who've got charges pressed on her about the baton hitting. Did you see the video, and what did you think? Do you think the punishment is warranted of? And I want to make sure, I'm not sure if I have all the facts, so I'm going to definitely say that. But I've heard reports that the other child was injured. I won't say their names because they're minors. And the child who hit was charged with assault. What do you think, after you watched the video, do you think that charge was warranted to the young athlete?
I don't think so. Not to that severity of assault, right? Sometimes your emotions and your competitiveness can get the best of you in these situations. watching the video, you couldn't help but see the video. I mean, everyone has seen the video. You didn't have to run track to see this video. It's gone viral. Actually, the lady who, the young girl who actually was the one wielding the baton, she ended up on Good Morning America, I believe, and she was up there pleading her case and talking about the situation that happened. Watching the race and watching how it's a tight turn on an indoor track, and seeing the girl who got hit, how close she came in to try to overtake the young lady with the baton in her hand, and then the baton starts to go wild and crazy and kind of she kind of hits on the back of the head, man. You know what I mean? Now, do I know if it's true, as in a sense of like she meant to do it, or if it's by accident? I'm not sure. But I think that what should have been done in that situation is, and from what I hear, didn't happen immediately, and I don't know if it has happened, is an apology. You know what I mean? An apology should be issued to that lady the young girl who got hit in the back of the head. That's something that I would have first did if I was the person doing the hitting. Like, I would have walked up to like, hey, I'm sorry. Arm got wild. Wasn't meant to be done that way. Sorry. Left it as is. So I think that it kind of got a little out of hand, and I think it takes away from the hard work that both of these ladies are putting in running, because now they're going to be known for the girl that got hit or the girl that did the hitting. And every time they go to a track meet now, because these kids are in high school, they're still in high school. People are going to recognize them as these like semi-fan celebrities of either the assaulted or the assaulter. And they're never going to get any peace. People are always going to focus on them because of that. And they're going to have the microscope on them because of that situation. So I wish the best for them. And I hope that they're able to focus on their craft, which is running, and hope they both are able to heal from it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with definitely everything you said. Assault, that's a heavy charge. Assault is a charge you could be jailed for. I've worked in a jail. Jail could, I mean, if that was to happen, or if she had to do anything like that, that could change the trajectory of a child's life very easily. I've seen it done. I've seen good kids go in for something small and come out and they lose their whole identity, and their parents, it's hard to get a hold of them because it takes a psychological toll that the parent might not understand what their kid went through if they are jailed. I don't think she'll go to jail or anything like that. I don't know what possibly will happen with the assault charge, but I definitely think it's an extreme thing. I mean, kids will be kids. I mean, not saying that what she did was right. I'm just saying that, we've all had fights in the bathroom. We've all had somebody say something about your mama and you want to hit them or whatever, but ain't nobody just going to jail over that. Not bringing any light to it, but I'm saying there's definitely another punishment that can happen. You could suspend her for the year from whatever state they're from competing in track and field for the year, something of that nature, or, to really make an example. But assault is a jailable offense. So I don't know if I was to go that far for an adolescent to say assault. Now, if it's on the pro circuit, yeah, they asked me to be in jail. You know better. I mean, the young lady does know better, but as kids, man, that frontal lobe ain't developed, man. Sometimes you let your inner thoughts and your inner things get to you and you give in. And I think that's what got the best of her that day, She let her inner thoughts get the best of her. You know what I mean? So that's definitely my take on that. So now the people who are in our comments, you heard us talk about current events. That's one, and we'll probably try some more. Do you have any current events you would like to talk about, sir?
Nah, I think I'm good right now, man. I think I'm good.
Yeah, definitely good. Once again, before we close out our show, remember that we started a Discord. We would like you guys to join to where we could talk back and forth and have banter about track and field. We definitely be giving our predictions in our Discord. Please download Discord and join us. We would love to converse with people of RSG and our family. With that being said, We are so happy that you joined us. And until next time on our show, on Ready, Set, Go!
Go!